Welcome to the unveiling of the best statue I've ever seen in my entire life, the Mother Tree statue. This whole thing would not be possible without the support of the city of Lansing. And the first person here to talk to you today about the importance of statues like this, please welcome Mayor Andy Shore.
Thank you. This is really exciting. We know that we have been doing a lot of work with art in our city. We have been putting public art in a whole variety of places. We've had these big art grants for many years, since before I was mayor. And as we do this, we really want to highlight different neighborhoods. We've seen it here in the East Side quite a bit. We've seen it all over the city. We did murals. We've done just all kinds of great things. And we know that it's not just beauty, it's economic development. It shows the pride of our city. We are welcoming, we show our visitors. And when this was brought to me, we do this every year. And when this was brought to me, it was pretty exciting. Every year we created an advisory board, an arts advisory board that's now been made a full city board. They got to review several proposals. Thank you to the Arts Council, who did just a fantastic job vetting and reviewing all of these proposals. We have just incredible talent in our city, and we should be proud of that. We are creatives, we are artists, we spotlight that, we highlight that. Every year we allocate money towards that. When I was first mayor, someone said, "How come you don't do like East Lansing does?" And I said, we put a whole bunch more money than East Lansing does into art, and I love East Lansing. But we are very proud of the money that we put into art. So when this was brought to me, I looked at it and I was trying to really wrap my brain around it, and it was beautiful. The whole idea was beautiful. The mother tree. I don't count myself as the most creative person. I'm trying to be analytical, but this is one of those creative things that you look at, and I'm just excited to see it up, right? You see it on paper and you can't really imagine what would that look like in Hunter Park. But when we saw it, I was excited. Our staff was excited. The Arts Council, again, was excited. Our Parks Department was excited. We know Brett in our Parks Department is Mr. Art. We know that. And I love that some people laughed at that. Thank you for that. But no, this is really exciting. We want to highlight, especially our parks. We want to highlight our public spaces. We want to show the world. So I should actually look at my notes. Again, we do an Arts Impact Grant every year. We take $75,000 of the money that we propose and council allocates, and we put that into one big project. We do a lot of little ones, and we love doing that and supporting our arts community, but we put it into one big project. And when you look at what we have now, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it to highlight the East Side, to highlight I'm going to let Ivan kind of talk about how he came up with this, but just this piece as you're driving down Kalamazoo, as you're living here, as you're coming to Hunter Park, the piece is just incredible. So I do want to thank Ivan Iler. I know there were a lot of partners involved. The Allen Neighborhood Center, Prospect Place, Beverly Place Apartments, again, our Parks and Rec Department. They all had input, and they all worked with Ivan to make sure that we could get this up. And I'm so excited that we can announce this and show the world this today. So thank you to everybody for being here. Whenever you come to an East Side event, you get the whole East Side community, and that's who you are. That's who the East Side is, and I love it. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be part of this, and I thank the East Side for continuing all the incredible work they do for the city of Lansing. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mayor Shore. First of all, can everybody hear me in the back? Okay. Thumbs up? Amazing. The other partner with which this would not be possible, and this is awkward because I work for Allen Neighborhood Center, but this had happened before I worked there. The Allen Neighborhood Center has an organization, a place-based nonprofit that is dedicated to helping the East Side. And from the very start, the Allen Neighborhood Center was with us the entire time we were looking to get this statue, the whole time we were looking to get this grant. And specifically, Denise, right over here, is the one who made this all happen. So Denise works tirelessly to make sure that this would be a good process, a fair process. And ultimately, there are so many things that Denise does for this entire city behind the scenes that we'll never be able to thank her enough for. So Denise, I know how much you hate the spotlight, but please come up and take the spotlight. Please welcome Denise.
Thank you. I want to welcome you to Hunter Park, the jewel of the East Side, and maybe even the jewel of the entire city of Lansing. It has not always been this beautiful and this accessible a park. Imagine that at one point there was a chain link fence all around the park, walling it off from our community. There was no pavilion, there was no walking path, there was no garden house, and the pool wasn't viable any longer. All of that has changed. For 20 years, we have been working hand in hand with the city of Lansing to make this a viable, beautiful park and change it from a blighted park to a place of beauty. The improvements that we have done in these 20 years include the renovation of the pool, the climbing wall at the pool, and the accessible splash pad for the children. That in and of itself is enough, that the children have a nice place to come and get out of the hot weather. But better than that, we put in a pathway so people can walk. Neighbors walk to get from one part of the neighborhood to the other. Dog walkers walk it, and we run our market walk program out of it. And then there's the pavilion, which is right back there where the food will be later on. And that is regularly used by families just chilling out, having a barbecue, maybe having a bridal shower, just a casual get together. You never know who's going to be under the pavilion, but you guarantee they're always going to be having a good time in Hunter Park. In addition to the infrastructure improvements that I just mentioned, we also did the Hunter Park Garden House in about 2008. And the Hunter Park Garden House is a place where people can learn how to garden. It is a place for educational resources. It's also a place where we do some of our youth programming. So it's not just adults learning there, it's high school kids and junior high school kids. Furthermore, we have the Edible Park here in Hunter Park. The Edible Park is what you see outside of the fence. So if you look around here, you see all those vegetables growing, you see those fruit trees, those are for the community. The community could come and pick whatever they want whenever it's ripe. No charge, just a way to help us alleviate access to healthy fruits and vegetables. And that is one of my favorite things that we do here at Allen Neighborhood Center, is helping the neighborhood be sustainable. In the last few years, Allen Neighborhood Center has proudly worked with Prospect Place, which Ethan is the current president of. And we have brought art to the East Side. We have brought the bus shelter over there, which you can hardly see. There are murals on our sheds. There's a lovely mural on the East Allen Neighborhood Center wall. And now we have bike racks, and also we will have the mother tree. And that is really why we're here today, is to celebrate her. I haven't given her a name yet, but I'm sure I will. None of this would be possible without the support of the City of Lansing and Mayor Shore, the Neighborhood Arts and Citizen Engagement Department, and of course, Brett Kaczynski and the Department of Parks and Rec. Thank you all for your long-term support of our parks, because we all know that vital parks make a vibrant city. Thank you also to the Arts Council of Greater Lansing for their leadership and guidance. Without you, this simply wouldn't have been possible. Thank you to everyone who attended the meetings. We had meetings and we did surveys to see what the neighbors wanted to see, what they felt about their neighborhood. And this beautiful sculpture is the result of that effort. So thank you for being involved community members. Within a few weeks, we'll have a concrete path around Mother Tree, so anybody who has any mobility concerns will be able to wander around her. And the Board of Water and Light will be putting in lights so that she glows throughout the evening. And I want to thank the board for that future lighting that we'll be receiving. I'm just about done. My last thank you is really to Yasmina, who called me one late November day and said, Denise, I think we should go to the Arts Council and make a pitch for a sculpture in Hunter Park. And I am so thankful that she did it. So thank you all for coming today, and I'll let you get on.
Thank you so much, Denise. And anybody who understands how the city of Lansing works knows that nothing like this is ever possible without the support of all layers of local government. And a lot of those are elected. And we actually had an election this week. And so I hope everyone voted in it. But it's really important that we look at who gets elected and how much they advocate for our community and how much they support our community for something that, quite frankly, it's not necessarily fun. It can be kind of boring to really look at the nitty gritty. But but the people who care about the community enough to walk through all that and to make sure that all their T's are crossed, all their I's are dotted, are exactly the kind of people we want in office. And we have somebody representing us in Ward 1 and City Council who will be next up here to speak, someone who's definitely supported us throughout this process. Please welcome our council member, Ryan Cost.
Well, can you hear me? I turned it off. I'm terrible with microphones. So as someone that lives on the east side, I know that this piece of art is only something that could get done in such a fashion on the east side because of the community that we have, the passion that the people have through this whole process. I know that a few years ago when I was out picking up trash, a lot of times I would spend around here cleaning paths that were coming into this park, and I just knew that this park was, as the others have said, the gem of Lansing, and it is. And we're now adding to not only a pool that we have here, a beautiful playground pavilion, and green space and mature trees, but a beautiful statue. So I can finally stop telling Councilmember Hussein I'm going to come and steal his artwork. We've got our own now. And I look forward to continuing to grow the artwork that we have, not just here at Hunter Park, but all over the east side in different parts of Ward 1, which is a very expansive ward. Art like this is so important now with budget cuts in schools where art is always cut. Kids don't have the opportunities to take art like I did, just 15 years ago when I was in school. And this is just a very special place, and I couldn't think of anywhere better that Mother Earth, the statue, would go than to Hunter Park. So I want to thank everyone that made it possible, but I really want to thank the East Side community. This is personally my favorite neighborhood. Don't quote me on that because I am campaigning, but I appreciate everyone coming today. I don't have a long-winded speech, so please enjoy the food tonight and enjoy the East Side, and stop and grab a beverage on your way out at one of our convenience stores in the First Ward.
And a lot of people might not know this, but there are a lot of responsibilities that do get done by the county and not the city. How on earth you can figure all this out? Well, that's a plug for the Lansing Citizens Academy to help figure that out. It is really important to understand that it is not just people in city council, it's not just your mayor, but also the people who are elected to your county commissioners as well. And we also have a county commissioner who loves the East Side, has always stood with us, has lots of support from the audience already. All right, please welcome Bob Pena.
So, can you hear me? I like Councilman Cost, a little uncomfortable with microphones, so I'll do my best. I'll try to keep the same distance and the volume. But first of all, thank you everybody for coming out today. I mean, this really doesn't happen without a community that cares. Thank you for the Art Council. Thank you for the City Council. Thank you for everybody who had the vision. Thank you for the artists. Just thank you. I am a very old guy, and I wanted to do this like by tiers. I wanted to have you participate a little bit. Who here is between the ages of 1 and 15? Hands. Okay, who here is between the ages of 15 and 30? More hands. Who here is 30 plus to 45? Yeah. Okay, and now we're gonna do, drum roll, 60 plus. Okay, so when you think about community, it's like the bulk of us are older. There's a gradient here, but what do we do this type of gathering for? We do it for the future. We create something here for those that follow. We are here like a vapor in the wind. We are here today and gone tomorrow. We prepare for those that follow, and we want it to be fun. We have swam, we have played on the rock wall, we have done Tai Chi here for balance. We bobs wobble, but we don't fall down. We have planted seedlings in the greenhouse, and we hope for tomorrow. We know that with art such as what's being presented today, the Mother Tree, that a community that values art values creativity, it values life, and it is a community that values future and insight and where we're going to go. I don't know. Don't get emotional. Don't cry. But and that's for me, not for you. But I have seen this park over the decades, and it is with great joy to commemorate this tree, the Mother Tree. All of us come from a different place. There are some of us that were born in Lansing and some of us that weren't. But there's somebody in our roots that was born not in the city limits. And so you look at the tree and you think, yeah, this is the tree. But a tree has many branches, and we come from many places, and we make a strong trunk. But from the trunk comes the branches. You got the roots, but as you go up, you have the branches and the leaves and the fruit that comes from the hard work and the insight and the hope for tomorrow. So I guess I could ramble forever, but I will stop. It is a great pleasure to be here today. Great joy, and it's an honor to be here. And thanks again to the Arts Council. Thank you, Catherine.
So I have been introduced as the president of Prospect Place neighborhood, and it makes me sound a lot more important than really compared to everyone else in the neighborhood. And let me tell you, the biggest value of me being president is that I can handle a lot of the paperwork and a lot of this, like the nitty gritty, to allow the brilliance of my community to thrive and let them worry about what they're going to worry about without having to deal with a lot of the paperwork. But let me tell you right now, I came into this neighborhood with the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. And it's the most welcoming community I've ever met in my life. And these are people who are determined to make the East Side so much better, to really celebrate what's already here, and to ultimately just make it the place that I know I'm going to stay forever. And one of those neighbors who I met very early on is the one that's responsible for this grant, has already been talked about by Denise a little bit, but please welcome Yasmina. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start with my neighbors, distinguished guests, and our fellow arts enthusiasts. My name's Yasmina Barawi, and I live in Prospect Place neighborhood. Prospect Place is directly north here of Kalamazoo Street. We go up to Michigan Avenue, and we're between Home Street and Allen Street. We're a small but mighty neighborhood that is very diverse and very inclusive. Wow, maybe I need to start again. Sorry about that. So my name's Yasmina Barawi, and I'm with the Prospect Place neighborhood, and we are just north here of Kalamazoo Street. We go up to Michigan Avenue between Home Street and Allen Street. So I'm here representing our neighborhood, and so I'd like everybody from Prospect Street to stand. Drum roll, Prospect Street members, please stand. Woohoo! Wave your hands. All right, so Prospect Street, as Ethan said, we have a number of neighbors that just tend to be real active, and we take every opportunity that the city gives us to improve our neighborhood. So if you are from a different neighborhood, I want to challenge you to make sure you have a neighborhood association. Make sure you go to the city website and apply for all of their little grants. They've got mini grants to plant trees. They've got grants to plant flowers in your neighborhood. You can have a community party. You can apply for a $5,000 grant, or you can get really ambitious and apply to a arts impact grant. So I put the challenge out to you, and we would be happy to mentor any other neighborhood that would like to do this type of work in their neighborhood, because we have a passion for it. So that being said, today, however, a new chapter is unfurling for our neighborhood, a chapter of artistry, unity, and renewal. And together, in collaboration with the Allen Neighborhood Center, we're sowing some seeds of creativity along Kalamazoo Street. And we started that with the artistic bus stops that Denise pointed out, this beautiful one behind us. And there's one over at Foster Park, just up the street. We started it with some artistic bike racks that we put here by the pavilion and in front of ANC. Allen Neighborhood Center has done their mural. We have a beautiful new mural at the Eastside Bike Co-op. And actually, we have this vision of Kalamazoo Street being a artistic corridor. So when I decided to make this pitch a few years ago, I kind of had to laugh when I made the pitch and said, we see Kalamazoo Street as being artistic corridor, okay? Because Kalamazoo Street really was kind of rough, you know? We have a lot of auto repair shops and this and that, but we really had a vision that we can make it more beautiful. So that's kind of what we did. But as a neighborhood, we bring our kids here. I used to bring my grandkids here all the time to play right here. And the one thing that I felt was missing was some artistic beauty, right? We're kind of a working class neighborhood. It's a little roughneck sometimes. But I'm like, why can't we have beauty too? So I brought it to one of our monthly meetings, and I said, hey guys, I just saw this grant proposal. It's for a major placemaking grant. Why don't we write for Hunter Park? And some of us were like, actually somebody said, well, that's kind of hoity-toity. And I felt some way about that because I had moved from East Lansing like 7 years ago. So I'm like, is that hoity-toity? But then at the same time, it was like, well, why can't we have beautiful things here too, right? And so the challenge was, how are we going to do this so that the community has input and so that it reflects the community and it's not something from coming on the outside? So I called Denise. So we always partner with Allen Neighborhood Center. They are our foundation, like our neighborhood anchor, right? So you want to do something, and they have kind of the legitimacy as a nonprofit. They have a budget person. They can write reports, help us out. So we approached them, and Denise and I actually, at the first conversation at a neighborhood meeting, we were like, well, it needs to be kind of heavy duty because it is Hunter Park. Right? So it probably needs to be steel or something. And she said, well, how about Metal Shop Masters, Ivan Iler? And I'm like, who's that? And she's like, he's the guy that did, well, I call it the Thinker, but it's got a different name. The Dreamer, Portrait of a Dreamer over on Michigan Avenue. And I'm like, yeah, that's some serious steel. Let's do that. So we called, the neighborhood agreed, and we picked up the phone, called Ivan, and we said, Ivan, will you be willing to work with us to do this pitch? I thought we were writing a grant, which I do because I work for the state, so I got to write grants and administer grants. But it wasn't a written grant. It was a freaking 5-minute pitch, okay? And so then that was challenging. And I was a little worried about that. And but in our neighborhood strengths, we have a facilitator and a coach, Jenny back there. So Jenny says, I can coach you. So she coached me and told me how to work on my pitch. And Ivan and I showed up with Denise as our cheerleader, and we did our 5-minute pitch, and we came out on top, so it was cool. What I will tell other neighborhoods, at those pitches, the majority of people there are artists that are pitching that they want to do a mural or they want to do whatever project it is. But I think that we won because we were the neighborhood with the artist pitching, saying this is why this is important to our neighborhood, right? We the people on the east side want to be seen, and they have the right to be honored as well. So, all right. So moving along, we've got this grand public sculpture, this masterpiece now, the mother tree. It's a nod to the nurturing aspect of the east side. Ivan's going to talk about that, and it's a culmination of years of investment to this neighborhood. I need to say we have the incredible honor of having the renowned sculptor Ivan Iler agree to work with us. Not just once, but twice, Ivan's worked with us on art installations here. And trust me that one day you're going to be saying, I was there, in reference to this installation and this event. I am passionately convinced of that. Ivan's on his way to becoming a renowned sculptor and artist, and we are just honored to have a piece of his, because in 5 years, he's not going to be doing little pieces like this, okay? He's going to be onto a whole other realm. So Ivan, we feel really special. The sculpture isn't just an installation, it's a statement asserting that everyone here matters. Placed along our bustling corridor, it challenges passerbys to pause, reflect, and find some inspiration. It's a bow on a gift 2 decades in the making, a testament that Eastsiders deserve beauty and that they're the artists of their own destinies as well. This endeavor transcends aesthetics. It touches the very essence of our well-being. And we know that art has a unique ability to enrich our lives, from shaping mental health and child development to offering educational pathways and combating work-related stress. So this is the piece that was missing in this beautiful tapestry. So let this unveiling be a testament to our dedication, a celebration of our diversity, and a call to embrace the transformative power of art. May this sculpture remind us that in the tapestry of our lives, each thread is vital, each color is essential, and each story is significant. And we all come from the mother tree. Thank you.
Imagine being on Netflix and still being called emerging. It's pretty big. Before we go to our last speaker, I will briefly say at the end of Ivan's talk, we will be walking to Mother Tree, so I'll get a picture together with the statue. So please join us for that. After that's done, you'll be able to get free food from 4 amazing East Side vendors that you'll see in the pavilion. They've been instructed not to do it until we're done, though, so don't run off yet. And this is Tefrific, Smoke Show Barbecue, G3 Food for All, and Hong Kong Restaurant. An incredible set of restaurants. So glad they're here. And there's also going to be tons of games, badminton. There's a slip and slide. We will remove those blocks before we start. And yeah, seed bombing. We have chalk art. There's so much to do, so many activities. And we have a little scavenger hunt as well. Anybody who participates in that could win a Allen Farmers Market gift card. But enough of hearing me talk. Here's the somehow still emerging artist. Please welcome Ivan Iler.
All right. Well, I actually just installed the sculpture this morning. I haven't slept in 2 days, so I'll keep it brief. But first of all, I couldn't have finished this without Travis McGinnis. He's my right hand. He really is. And then in the 11th hour, we called on some other fabricators and artists from around the community, and they all showed up. We had Mike Bass, we had Dace Kinishnik, and we had Andrew Sandstedt. They all came, and they stayed into the night to help pull it off in time. The thing that I feel really honored to hear everybody talking about what the sculpture makes them feel, you know, when it comes to this community. The thing is, when Denise and Yasmina first got a hold of me and asked me,
Sorry.
What's that?
Can you speak close to the mic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
When Yasmina and Denise first came to me, asking me if I would be willing to build a sculpture for Hunter Park, I really wasn't sure what I would be doing. I didn't know anything about Hunter Park at the time, but they brought me here. They showed me the park, And even just seeing the gardens right off the bat, I knew this was something very special. And we had a community meeting where we sat down with members of the community, we talked, and I was just asking them questions. Just took a notebook and said, you know, what do you love? What are you scared of? What makes this feel like home to you? What do you want? What, you know, and just took all these answers, and that's what came out of them. So to hear everybody saying, this feels like our community, I mean, that's what I saw in your community. So I'm honored that you see that in what I've built for you. Thank you.
All right, let's go walk together. Let's go to the statue. Thank you, everyone.
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anytime you're trying to come up with a sculpture, you know, that is specific to someone, something, someplace, some idea, the whole idea is to try to capture that. And so doing something like this for this community, knowing that I was trying to capture this community, it was just a matter of talking to them, and the more I heard about them, the more I realized how much they cared for one another, how much they were a family, how much they cared for their green spaces, their trees. Literally, specifically talking to saving area trees that were really old, and that was really the beginning of the inspiration for the piece. You know, this community is a family. They take care of one another. They look out for one another, and I thought, well, what better way to honor them than to give a mother to the family? Essentially, what I did was I took a notebook back home with everybody's answers. You know, as far as just general questions, you know, what do you love? What are you scared of? What do you think about your community? How do you feel about this? Just a series of random questions to try to understand the people of this community, and that was what came out of it. As far as the sculpture is concerned, there was a couple of things that I needed to consider. One was I really wanted that contrast of metals, and so she's made out of a core 10, which is that's a weathering steel, so it'll rust, it'll patina. But the leaves are stainless steel, so you'll have that beautiful contrast between the browns and oranges in the trunk and the shine of that stainless steel. But then when it came to actually forming out her body, that was something that, you know, it needed to be done in a way that felt reflective of bark, but at the same time still had the form right, you know, to express her body. And so I did a lot of going through anatomy books, muscle structure, and then tried to follow the lines that you would see in the bark of a tree as if they would be expressed in muscle structure of a woman. And that was where the idea came from, to build her the way that I built her. No question about the pose, no. No, that was, yeah. She's there standing tall, mother of us all.
We are all about art and placemaking and showing off our neighborhoods and our community here in Lansing. We've been doing it for years. Every year we do a $75,000 art impact grant. And when you talk about impact, putting a beautiful statue right in Hunter Park has tremendous impact. So we had a proposal from the neighborhood to have what's called the Mother Tree, which is the statue that your viewers are seeing. It is a gorgeous statue. We gave money. Ivan Iler put together the statue. He's done so many things for our city. He's a wonderful artist. We have tremendous creativity. It really shows off one of the gems of our city right here in Hunter Park. We have these all over the city. I love the East Side, but I love the whole city. But being able to show off our East Side with this beautiful statue of the Mother Tree right here in this gorgeous park, it shows off the excitement and vibrancy of our East Side.